All right, welcome in to another episode of My Curious Minds podcast. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, after the video or during the video, hit that like and subscribe button and also share with someone so we can get our subscribers up so I can continue making these hopefully good and great and amazing videos. But let's get to it today. Today, we're focusing on what's going on at Fox Sports. And I'll say that again, what's going on at Fox Sports. I have my lovely wife, Brandis, joining me again today, and thank you for joining me. All right, so let's get straight to it. I think in the last couple of days, my wife and I've kind of been talking to her about this really big lawsuit that came out in the last couple of days at Fox Sports One. So let's go ahead and get into it. So with a lawsuit like this, I always wonder because Fox Sports is a big entity, so it's not just some business that has 25 or 50 or 100 employees. So they have thousands and thousands of employees and affiliates all across the country. So I would imagine a big lawsuit like this, with some notable individuals being named in the lawsuit. uh, these type of lawsuits have some type of litigation. Am I correct? Like the judge may say, "Hey, sit down," or both sides with their attorneys, they sit down and they have some type of negotiation to try to come up to some type of terms or agreement or a financial payout. But what's curious to me about this situation, prior to the general public hearing about this a couple of days ago, I would imagine that there was some back and forth behind the scenes. And if you really go into the actual lawsuit, and I'm not going to read through it, but you can go online and Google it and you can look at the entire lawsuit. You can go through it all. The person that's making the accusations, the woman, the hairstylist that filed the lawsuit, she has things that look like she has receipts, like she has credible evidence. I personally don't know if these things happen or if they didn't happen, but she has some damning information, if it is true. So I'm kind of curious to why Fox Sports didn't come to some type of settlement because she was going to put it out there. What do you think about that? Uh, I don't know. I think if I mean, it could be a possibility. It's just it's a lot. Like I said, I advise everyone, if you have some time, go through and read the entire lawsuit in its entirety. I think it's actually broken down into two lawsuits, but read it all. And 1.5 million, which is a lot of money. It No, no. Well, I mean, well, look, in a different tone, I will say this. 1.5 sounds like a lawsuit payout amount versus something that you would proposition someone and then pay for some sexual services. But again, it's all alleged. We don't know if this happened, and you definitely have to let these things play out. But um, if you read through again the lawsuit, the information about Dixon, which I think he was the executive at I can't remember his first name, but I know the last name is Dixon. He is the alleged. I mean, he is the executive at Fox Sports who is in charge of hiring and firing. What'd you say? What's his first name? Charlie Dixon. So he's the individual in charge of hiring, firing the talent on air at Fox Sports on all their shows. So if there was a certain uh, if they were allowing him to flex his power and sleep with who he wanted to sleep with and have control over who gets on the show, who doesn't get on the show, that in itself is kind of damning. Let's say the stuff with Skip Bayless didn't happen. That alone can kind of tip the scales in favor of the allegations being made against Skip Bayless. Now, again, I don't know if they happen or not. I don't know any of these people personally. I'm just reading it and learning about it, just like a lot of people here in America. But again, it's very interesting, the entire lawsuit, because she didn't just make allegations towards Skip Bayless. It's other people. Two other high-profile people were named in the lawsuit, along with Charlie Dixon, Joy Taylor, who's been around Fox Sports One for quite a few years now, and it's basically alleging that she pretty much had a sexual relationship with Charlie Dixon, and she essentially used that to level herself up. They were at Fox Sports um, over the years to get favorable positions. Did I say that right? I'm like I was getting tongue tied. That favorable positions. And it's basically just a legend that it created a. I don't think she put it in the lawsuit as hostile, but a. Did it mention hostile? Like a difficult work. Well, not hostile, but a difficult work environment. Cause it at one point in time, the accuser is basically, or the hairstylist that filed this lawsuit. She's basically saying that she confided in Joy Taylor, was telling her that these things were happening. And I think she goes as far as to say that Joy Taylor's response was basically, uh, just let that go. It ain't a big deal. She even stated that several times she went to HR. HR was aware of these things that were happening, and she's alleging that they didn't do anything about it. So what do you think about that? Correct. That's her name. Yes. But 1.5 is a but 1.5 is a lot. That's a lot. But I also think the 1.5 million really, the number in itself really isn't important personally. Yeah, just for, I mean, just for general terms, it's a big number, but I get your point. So this part again, we kind of early touched on Charlie Dixon, um, and you've probably have more experience or more knowledge of this than I. How do HR departments generally handle a complaint like this? Is it something that like they keep a receipt or they keep a file and a date and a time and someone made this complaint? Do they do that and also like assign a caseworker or someone to look into it, or do they just hold on to the complaint and see if another one's going to happen? Do they, or thirdly, do they notify the person who the complaint was made about? So would they have notified Charlie Dixon and say, "Hey, someone came in HR, unknown person, that said A, B, and C about you. Do you want to give a response or lawyer up?" How does that usually work? Okay. Yeah, I mean, so it's safe to say that if what she's alleging happened and she actually made the trip and notified HR, there is some documentation, or as they say, there are receipts of what she's alleging in the lawsuit. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Because, and maybe we'll get to this later on, what her lawsuit is alleging is not just impacting her, Charlie Dixon, and Joey and yeah, um Taylor, Mrs. Taylor. For some reason I couldn't say her first name. Joey Taylor. Um it's impacting a lot of people at Fox Sports because now you have to go back over time. All of the people that were sleeping with just various different people there, are they getting their positions because they slept with someone? And then, if let's say I'm an on-air talent at Fox Sports, and they say, "Hey, we want to clean house because of this lawsuit, Mr. J. We want to fire you because you slept with this other woman," and they fire me. I feel like I got a lawsuit. Like I may have slept with this other woman, but I'm not in part of this lawsuit. This woman hasn't made a complaint against me. I can see a situation where they're going to clean house if all of this goes against Fox Sports One and they have to pay out a big lawsuit. I can see a situation where they're going to clean house, and there are going to be some people get caught up in a situation who didn't really have anything to do with this particular situation. And I don't think that's fair. But I think if Fox Sports is found liable and they have to pay out, I don't really feel sorry for them if these things were occurring and they didn't do anything about it. I definitely don't. Not at all. So let's look at the next part of the story. Yeah, I mean, I see your point. I don't know, the whole corporate system and the workplace in general has changed so much because I remember a point in time when I first started in my career almost 20 years ago, you were pretty much told to just mind your own business. They had a list of things you're never supposed to talk about. You just don't say at work. And now I don't think that exists anymore. It's kind of wide open. Um, um, I don't think there would be a problem if it was just leisure. And some of this may have been leisure. Like, I'm like you. I don't, yeah, but to be honest, even if it is leisure, it's all about optics. So you're sleeping with this executive, you're sleeping with this person, because I think it's alleged that she slept with some of the one of the on-air talent, Emmanuel Acho, an ex NFL player. So it's alleged that Joy Taylor did that. Um, I don't think there's nothing wrong with people getting together and hooking up, but the question is this romantic or physical relationship allowing you to get a, let's say, a unfair advantage than someone else? And mm, I think that, but I think that's different type of nepotism. They're not the same. And I don't have an issue with we we've talked about this before. I don't have a problem with nepotism, but I think the sexual thing is different. And there's a lot of people that don't like traditional nepotism because my dad owns the company or my great grandfather started this company or whatever. But I think when you involve sex, it's just different, because you can use sex on a person to kind of like control them. I don't think we accuse people like a nepotism doesn't necessarily control a person. Nepotism is just maybe you got an easy way in because you know the person or you're related to the person. That's how people view that. People dislike both, but I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say the two are the same. But I can see why you say that. I don't. Like I said, I definitely don't think they're the same. So commodity, like you saw me saying, commodity and what, like buying, like bartering for something. You can use sex to barter. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know people did that. I didn't know people did that until this podcast. Until reading this article. No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. No, it's it happens. But what'd be interesting to know if what was Fox Sports policy against that? Because some corporate entities have a workplace policy and a rule against uh, someone over you having a relationship, and if that occurs, you're supposed to report it to HR, and based on whatever that company rules are, one person got to quit, you know, or something like that. So, yeah, that's definitely interesting. Now, there's another part of the Joy Taylor from the accuser. She's basically stating that help me get her name right. The lady that filed the lawsuit. What's the name again? Faraji. So Faraji is alleging that she spoke to Joy Taylor on, I don't know, several occasions and mentioned, um, do you think it's a good idea? She basically asked, do you think it's a good idea that you're sleeping with Charlie Dixon and this other on-air personality at Fox Sports? I think it was Emmanuel Acho. And she said, it'll be okay. I can handle this. And Joy Taylor basically stated to Faraji that uh, if something happens with Charlie Dixon, I'll just claim uh, sexual abuse or something like that, and it'll take care of it. So that's I don't know if she really said that. That's and I apologize if I'm saying it out of context or not saying exactly right, but I'm trying to paraphrase it. I think I got the gist of how she said what she said in the lawsuit. But to make a statement like that, it's 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 kind of very damning. But again, before we move on to the next point, I don't think it's wrong if you have a relationship with someone at work. People are going to view it totally different, but I'm not speaking against that because people are going to have those relationships all the time. You know, I guess so. There's two things because I mean the lawsuit has been filed, and you're going to have Skip Bayless is a known personality. A lot of people have issues with some of his hot takes over the years, but from what I know and read about Skip Bayless, there's never really been any allegation of anything close to this before. So this definitely took a lot of people by surprise. So it's again, it's one of those things that I always wonder, what do other people see? Because I don't know, maybe were they all alone every time this happened? I imagine if she's cutting his hair, she's a hairstylist, there have to be other people walking by. Do other people notice things, or is this just how people are in everyday society? They see stuff and they just like, I'm not a part of it. So I ignore it, or it's just the norm around here. And that's the sad part about it. Because let's say, on one hand, if this is true, I feel like other people saw things and they're like, it's the norm. That's what happens. But I mean, if it isn't true, I mean, it Skip Bayless deserves to have his name clear. But I like I said earlier, I don't know if it's true or false, but she got some receipts. She got receipts. It definitely seemed like she has some receipts. And I go back to what I said earlier. Fox Sports knew about this. I'm willing to bet, and I'm no lawyer, that they had some type of negotiation, her lawyer and their representatives. And why did this lawsuit come out and instead of being settled, and then we kind of really don't hear about it? It's interesting. I feel like, go ahead. No, so I was thinking, what if Fox Sports let the lawsuit come out publicly so that they could, because I don't know if Charlie Dixon still works there. I'm assuming he may still work there. So they could get out of his contract. Maybe there's some type of moral clause in that. Because again, I don't know if this is true, but based on the lawsuit, if you kind of read through it, sounds like, excuse me, she has some receipts. And again, I go back to what I've been saying several times. Why weren't they able to settle this lawsuit? And why did they allow it to come out publicly? Because once it comes out publicly, it's not even about whether it happened versus it didn't happen. It's pretty much, it's out there in public form. So now it's almost like they're guilty. All the people involved are guilty. And it's just a matter of a settlement at this point. That's what you do. I don't do that. You do that with all those shows you watch. See, this is the thing. So America so I know we're getting off topic, but I gotta say this. If you're trying to find a show to watch, watch European shows. They don't oversaturate the storyline. They don't do 30 episodes a season. That oversaturates. So you can do 8 or 10 episodes, and I've seen some European shows that got like 6 or 8 episodes in one season. So yeah, that's an American thing. Yeah. Yeah. You got a good point. I've long believed that we're at the point now where we're going to have to teach young men and women how to interact with each other in the workplace, because let's say these allegations are true. Okay, um, it's a cautionary tale for how to act. But let's say these allegations are wrong. It's damning. You have some people that are now, let's say Skip Bayless will be smeared for the rest of his life. Because even if they say, hey, they were wrong, they were a lie, some people are going to believe, hey, you got money, you paid them off under the table to make this go away. But like I said, we're going to get to a point in society, and I support it 100%, where we start teaching men and women how to interact with each other. I personally believe a person making a pass or saying something at you the first time isn't sexual assault or sexual abuse. Once you indicate to them, hey, I'm not interested. And when I say make a pass, I'm talking about a verbal comment. Now, once you touch somebody, you cross the line. You don't get no second, third, and fourth attempt. I believe one attempt is wrong. But if I, as a man, I'm working in a workplace, let's say I'm a single man, I see a woman, I think she's attractive, I try to shoot my shot, as they say. Say, what's up? We gonna go out tonight? Come give me a little hug. I mean, that sounds kind of corny. I wouldn't say that, but it sounds weird, by the way. But I try to shoot my shot. I think a woman has a right to say, "Hey, I'm not interested. Please don't do that again." I think a guy, if he's understands and he's listening to what she say, stop. He should stop pursuing her, and I think it's over it at that point. That's not sexual harassment, in my opinion. That's not. And I think we have to have some rules of engagement. Now, it doesn't dismiss what's alleged in this lawsuit, because if, like I said earlier, and like I've said several times, if what is alleged in this lawsuit happened, I don't feel sorry for the people involved in it. You know, you did wrong. Yeah, it's, it's interesting. And I do think, I hope with this story, because oftentimes with these type of stories, people use that to attack the person filing the lawsuit, to dismiss what they say or what really happened. They'll make comments like, well, if you didn't like it, why'd you work there for 10, 11, or 12 years? You must have liked it at some point. When did it go bad? Or, you know, I hope people don't do that. Well, I can't say hope. Some people are going to do it. They're going to do it. But I don't like when people do that personally, because again, I don't know whether it happened or if it's all made up. But we shouldn't do that, and you never know. You know, if she was making some good money, and it was good income, and she was exposed to potential people that she could do work for off site and get connected other ways, then I mean, you do your job. And if, like I said, Go ahead. Um, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. What I will say, it's clear based on um the lawsuit, at least from the accuser's side, that they were friends. I don't know if Joy Taylor viewed her as a friend, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she did. Had some mutual friendship. Um, could it be when she started making these allegations, Joy Taylor backed away from the friendship, or could it be the accuser just said, "You know what? It's just not right." She wasn't a sympathetic ear when I went and tried to tell her what was happening. And I've heard you talk about this before, where you have a lady friend that's close, and um, something has happened to you, or you try to voice or confine someone, and they pretty much dismiss what you're saying. It would probably put your friendship in jeopardy with them. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. So I believe that's probably what happened. Maybe Joy Taylor doesn't see it like that, but more than likely, that sounds like a rational conclusion based on all the information that's put out there so far. You know, have you been in a situation like that before? Not necessarily with sleeping around at work, not that far, but where you confided in a close friend and their response was kind of like, just get out of here. You complain about the wrong thing. Let it go. I wonder, like in workplaces in America, um, how much of an impact does a lawsuit like this have? Because it's some big, notable people named in a big time company named in it. Do you think it has like an impact in other corporations in America? You don't think so? Mm. Corruption. Oh, corruption. Okay, I see you saying corruption. Yeah. I mean, I see your point, but I do think, um, well, this is why I think you'll see. Look, we, the everyday people, don't know what's happening inside of those entertainment companies and sports media companies. We don't know. But if you go back and read the backstory, these people all kind of know each other. All these high level executives and CEOs of these sports um, media companies and entertainment companies, they all live in the same neighborhoods and they know each other, go to the same events. So they talk and you see what happens to your competitor. You know what's happening. So you also don't want to be put out there or made example of like other people. So I think they do talk, they do make changes, they do send out internal memos, they do have, I don't know, secret meetings, letting people know like, hey, we can't do this. This kind of makes us look bad and it impacts the bottom line. And again, like I said earlier, if the people that are alleged in this lawsuit did the things that they did, I have no sympathy for them. I mean, if you're guilty, you're guilty. But I do think, like I said, we won't see the change in these companies, but like I said, I think they talk to each other. They're oftentimes, I'm pretty sure, like a guy like Charlie Dixon, if you look at his bio, he probably worked at other sports media companies. Oh, so is this a Diddy? Is this a Diddy type of situation? Yeah, I mean, you got a point. With the Diddy thing, it's different. I mean, I don't know. I guess it is the same. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. No, I don't have. I don't hang around morally corrupt people, so I don't. I know. I'm just joking. I'm pretty sure I know some people. Yeah. You know what? As you get older, I think you make better decisions with the people you hang around. When you're in your early 20s, you're around somebody doing something illegal, counting some money they shouldn't be counting, and going to get stuff that looks like baby. No, I mean going to get things that looks like other substances that you shouldn't have. You a little chill, but as you get older, you're like, nah. Mm-mm. The first sight of somebody doing something wrong, I'm 45 years old. I'm leaving. I mean, if I even get the spidey sense kick in that they doing something wrong, I don't hang around people that do bad stuff. Now, I possibly know people that do bad stuff, and I don't know about it. But the minute I find out, you know, yes, I would agree 100%. You know, He hadn't been married. Oh my god, I can't believe you said that. Um, I think they've been married less than I think they've been married less than 20 years, him and his wife. Less than 20. No, I think it's longer than that. No. Yeah, you gotta look it up. I think it's longer than that. Let's see. Uh, I mean, it could be right. Yeah, I knew it wasn't alone. They hadn't been married like, yeah. I will say this: his wife's. I don't know her personally, but just over the years of watching him on the debate shows, I mean, she often makes appearances on some of his platforms and things like that. So she appears to be a very nice and loving lady. So I don't know. Like I said, all of this is alleged, so we do not know if this happened for real. But it's I predict, just like a lot of stories going into 2025, it's we're probably gonna hear a lot, a little bit more. It's gonna leak out from this story. I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg. We're gonna hear more information leaked out, and know where the story may go. Anything you like to add? Mm, you funny. You didn't you just go see Lil Wayne on stage? Yeah. So you can't be putting can't put Lil Wayne in this. So you name dropping. He ain't got nothing to do with this. He should have name dropped Lil Wayne. He ain't got nothing. Yeah, 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 yeah. So no, 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 no. But hey, this is an interesting story. So again, I would advise everyone kind of scan through the lawsuit. Like I said, it's a very detailed lawsuit, very detailed. And I'm interested overall how women and maybe you can, before we get out of here, this is the last thing we kind of talk about. You could tell me, how do you think the different groups of women are going to react? Because I feel like if I like to go on social media, especially Facebook, and when stories like this are posted, I love, and we've talked about this before, I love reading through the comments. Because whatever you think the comments are going to be about a story, they're always the opposite. Wouldn't you agree? Um, let's let's go with age. How do you think? Let's go with women over 60. How do you think they react to this story? So, okay, so women, what about a younger women? So let's say 18 to 35. You're funny. I see that totally different, but I'm not a woman, but I think I can see younger 18 to 35-year-old women. Well, I think you have to split that group up. 18 to 30. I can see them like 100% believing the accuser. I 100% like all in. And again, I don't know whether it happened or didn't happen. I could see that group, you know. And I think older women are going to be split, like you said, but I see one group being split and basically saying, and then you may have mentioned this, that she did something, or she looked a certain way, or she dressed a certain way. That group of women would definitely say that. I don't think a younger woman would say that. That's not something a younger woman would say. An older woman, I think, will say something like that. And I've had talks with the older women before over the years, and they often mention strange comments like that. I don't know why they would say stuff like that, but I don't know. Yeah, but interesting. So, do you think ethnicity determines how you react to this lawsuit? Hmm. How? Okay. Well, I thank you again joining me for another episode. You did an awesome job. And remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Tell a friend, share with a family member, share with a coworker, so we can keep making content. And I guarantee you we'll get better and better. And got some good ideas that are coming down the way, and some more videos coming. But please hit that like and subscribe button. And thank you for joining us today. And until next time, from my Curious Minds podcast. Peace.